I have summoned you all here for the 10th annual reaping ceremony, in which we choose 2 children from each district to fight to the death in the Hunger Games.
From District 12, Lucy Gray Baird.
In this movie, we see the 10th annual Hunger Games, where the game makers still make a lot of mistakes compared to the games with Katniss. What's more fun, directing a chaotic game or a perfectly coordinated game?
I mean, I think they're both fun. I think the thing that is always just fun for me is to sort of, have a new challenge. And I think the interesting thing about this story is, getting to see a lot of the origins of things we're familiar with from the other movies. And one of those things is the origin of the games. So the idea of moving from something like I did in Catching Fire, which was, a much bigger arena and very fantastical with, big sort of fantastical spinning islands and attacking monkeys and things like that, to this, which is, the much more rudimentary version of the games that take place in an arena. And it's the first time that arena kind of opens up because of, a bombing, and but also to do the first games that are actually feel like they're indoors, where you can go in tunnels and hide in basements and hide in air ducts. I think that was, that was a really fun challenge.
Enjoy the show.
5, 4,
Enjoy the show.
3, 2,
Enjoy the show.
run.
Enjoy the show.
I want to talk briefly about the stunts. Also because a former school friend of mine was Josh Andres Rivera's stunt double on this film.
Okay.
What was it like doing dangerous-looking stunts with a lot of the very young actors?
It was fun. I have to say that, some of the actors that play the tributes, we just hired stunt people, so they could do a lot of their own stunts. I will say the actors themselves did do a lot of their own stunts. There were certain things like, Josh's stunt double had to do a few things where he sort of falls and injures his leg. And so to do a big fall, we wanted, a stunt double. It was a little too dangerous. But the truth is most of the people that were actors in the movie did some training, learned how to, be hooked up to wires. There's some fights that happen at, higher elevations of things. And luckily, they trained, and we hooked them up to wires and kept it all safe, and they were able to do most of the fight scenes themselves.
There has been a change this year. As a mentor, Mr. Snow, your role is to turn these children into spectacles, not survivors.
Peter Dinklage has this wonderful line, "Your role is to turn these children into spectacles." One could also say that is a pretty accurate job description of a director, don't you think?
Yes, I think probably is. Yeah, yes. Yeah, no, but that's a fantastic line. I love that line.
You also directed I Am Legend, which is set in a creepy, empty New York. If you could put a Hunger Games arena anywhere in today's world, where would you put it?
That's a tough one, because I don't think that I would actually put a Hunger Games anywhere in the world. That's not something that I'd want to see in real life.
Fair enough. We've seen a lot of prequels in recent years. Was there anything you wanted to do differently in this prequel, The Hunger Games?
No, it was, when I finished the movies in 2015, I thought that was going to be it. I didn't think there were going to be any more books, and we were surprised by the fact that Suzanne had written a new book. And what I really liked was the idea that it was a prequel. And set so many years before the other games, because I love world building. And so the idea of having to come up with a completely new version of Panem, right? One that's not long out of war and that feels like a period piece to the other movies, that was really exciting to me.
It's the things we love most that destroy us.
Towards the end of the movie, it felt more and more like a gangster movie, like The Godfather, for example. Were gangster films an inspiration for this one?
No, not really. I mean, I love movies where you sort of see, it's like an origin story of a villain, or somebody who's not necessarily a villain, but also somebody who just breaks bad, So I look back at things like Macbeth or Breaking Bad or the Joker. You can say The Godfather too is also a great one where you watch somebody go dark. I think there's just something thematic about it that usually resonates and stays relevant. And I think they're just satisfying, narratives to watch.
It's been 9 years since the last Hunger Games movie. In the time between finishing Mockingjay Part 2 and starting working on this one, was there anything you thought, man, if I had another shot at this franchise, I'd like to do this particular thing differently?
No, the only thing I would probably say is I don't think I would have split the Mockingjays into two movies. I mean, other than that, that's really the only thing I look back and I go, okay, that we should have probably just made that one movie. But no, I didn't. Yeah, there's nothing else I would do differently.
Even though the setting is once again very gruesome, all the movies have received a PG-13 rating. Was there ever any material shot for which you would have gotten an R rating?
Every movie that I've done in this series has originally gotten an R rating, and then we usually have to like pare back certain scenes and certain moments to get it into PG-13. We don't usually have to change too much or, pull too much out. We always, know that we're going to try for a PG-13. So, moments of violence, I'm looking more for sort of the emotional value that's associated with the violence and less so gore and blood or, anything like that. But every first edit that I've turned in of one of these movies has gotten an R rating, and then we've had to inch it back and work with the ratings board.
Any chance of these R-rated cuts ever being released?
No. Yeah, I usually don't have alternate versions of my movies.
What's next for you? Another Hunger Games, Constantine 2, or will it be I Am Legend 2?
I don't know. I mean, if there's another Hunger Games, it has to come from a book first. So Suzanne has to write the book. So that's, not going to be relatively soon, at least not that I know of. And I'm not sure. I think the strikes have kind of held everything up, and I was hoping that I would be sort of further along in development. So, I should know what I'm doing next in the beginning of the year.